Hello, children. Good morning. Welcome to Zoology webinar sessions for Senior Inter of Model Schools. Children, in Applied Biology lesson chapter, we discussed about, especially the Prashanti ma'am discussed about and made us understand about the animal husbandry. Yes, now let us learn about other new things where we can apply the technology and we can get benefited. Now here in this session you'll be learning more interesting aspects. Children, suppose I want to give a baby where I have chosen the characters like physical characters. I like suppose curly hair, blue eyes or gray eyes or the skin color or anything. So I can choose the physical characters, I can build the things and I can implant into the mother's womb, isn't it? So this is possible. Now just forget about the physical things where it doesn't matter, but suppose people, if they are suffering with genetic disease disorders or some hereditary diseases which the newborn baby should not suffer, so those things we can protect before we go for an fertilization. Before the mama becomes pregnant, she can undergo some gene therapy so that newborn baby doesn't suffer all these the genetic disorders or anything. So detailedly Prashanti madam will make us understand about the gene therapy, what we generally call it as gene therapy. Not only about gene therapy, transgenic animals, what are the uses of those animals, and about the most common and worldwide the disease is cancer, isn't it? So what sort of cancerous things are there where the body get can be affected, and also about the what are the how to detect them, how to treat them. So all these things madam will explain. And lastly about the stem cells. What did you ever heard about the stem cells? So embryonic stem cells will be there, adult stem cells will be there. So what are these things? Let us learn more clearly. Okay, I welcome G Prashanti madam. She is PGT from Chikurumamudi from Karimnagar districts. Madam, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Please take over the session.
Okay, madam. Good morning, students. Let's continue with our applied biology part 2. That is the biotechnological applications in medicine. Before starting with gene therapy, we shall recall what are cells. You have learned about cells from your schooling. What are cells, students? Cells are the building blocks of the body. Just imagine how many cells you are having in your body. Yes, there are trillions of cells present in our body. Just see the picture, students. There are different types of cells. There are nerve cells, blood cells, muscle cells, bone cells, etc. So there are different types of cells. They are present in our body. When you see a cell is having nucleus at the center part, and this nucleus is having a compact closed DNA having chromosomes in it. Genes are the sections of DNA. Human genome contains nearly 25,000 genes present, and they are having two sets of genes, one from the either parent. And when you see the coding, when there is some defect, it leads to a disease. So this what we are dealing in the gene therapy. When there is some defect in the coding or the DNA sequencing, it leads to a disease. And this can be totally be cured by gene therapy. Then therapy means treatment, means the genetic treatment given is called as gene therapy. So here there is a error or some detection of some abnormality is being present in the DNA children. So the gene therapy is an experimental technique. So this is useful for correcting any defective gene by modifying it or replacing it or substituting it by a healthy gene. Means replacing a healthy gene in a bad gene is called as gene therapy. Yes, who discovered it? This is William, Sir William. He was the first person to approve gene therapy. Then, what are the steps included in the gene therapy? When you see, when there is any error in the gene coding that will be responding to the disease, this will be showing that there should be some cure. So, this gene should be inserted into the DNA for the cure. So let's see the steps of the gene therapy. The first one is identification of the defective gene. So any person who suffers from any abnormality might be having some abnormality in the gene. So that should be identified, children. And the next one is it should be cloned with a healthy gene. Then what is a healthy gene? Healthy means free from diseases. So the healthy gene should be cloned, means it should be made many number of copies. Next, it should be cultured in the laboratory, and later this should be inserted into the defected gene person. Okay, so by this he will be getting the normal cells. What are the types of gene therapy? Yes, there are two types, children: germline gene therapy, somatic line therapy. So germline means it comprises of the germ cells, and somatic line means it comprises of the somatic cells. Just see the picture, students. Germline cells. Have you ever listened to this germ cell, students? Yes, in our reproductive system chapter, we learned about the germ cells. What are the germ cells, students? That is, these are the egg cells and the sperm cells comprise of the germ cells. Okay, and the other cells, that is, are the somatic cells. Yes, first one, germline gene therapy. So germline gene therapy, so here one sperm will be fertilizing the ovum or the egg. This is the germline gene therapy. And over here, when you see, when there is any defect over here, the ovum or the sperm, it is being corrected and again reinserted into the donor couple. But this is not ethical and this is not encouraged in the humans. Next comes the somatic line therapy. So here, when you see this somatic line therapy, that is the treatment with the somatic cells. Then what are somatic cells? Somatic cells, these are being present in the various parts of our body like myoblast. What is the function of myoblast? That is the movement of the muscles. Next, it is also seen in epithelial tissues. So epithelial tissues, they are present in the outer covering of the various regions of the body like skin, urinary bladder, kidney, liver, etc. So in these regions, the somatic cells are being present. And over here, this is also present in the neurons, that is, they carry information throughout the body. It's also present in the glial cells, that is over here, that is, they will be conducting the information to the central nervous system, that is, they protect and support the neurons. So in this, they are having, that is, the somatic cells. The somatic line therapy further can be classified into in vivo and ex vivo. In means inside. Okay, so over here, there is some defect in this person over here. Then how can it be corrected? So here, the cloned genes are directly introduced into the affected tissue. Just see, students, the cloned genes. Okay, So they are being directly introduced into the affected tissue. This is called as in vivo gene therapy. Okay, then in which cells in vivo is being done? For example, it is being conducted in lung cells, brain cells. Okay, so these are the few parts I am encoding, children. So these are very delicate parts, isn't it? Okay, so here these cells can't be implanted directly. So under this condition, cloned genes are directly introduced. Okay, so this is in vivo. Next comes the ex vivo. Ex means that is outside the treatment is being done. Okay, so over here, first the target cells means where the diseased part is being affected, it is being removed and it is being cultured out with the cells and later being introduced again into the patient. Okay, so as it has been cultured out and reintroduced into the patient, it is called as ex vivo. So then where does we find like this? So we find this in the fibroblast children and also in the lymphocytes. Okay, so over here that is the blood cells, we find this type of nature. Then how was the gene therapy started? The first clinical gene therapy, this has been first started by Sir William Freud. Okay, so he worked on a child who was suffering from ADA, that is adenosine deaminase. Okay, so this is the enzyme. So a child, that name is that is Ashanti De Silva, she was suffering from adenosine deaminase deficiency. Okay, so Sir William French, he has worked on this girl, adenosine deaminase deficiency. Okay, so adenosine deaminase, that is this girl, she was suffering from the weakening of the immune system, later converted to SCID. SCID means several combined immunodeficiency disease. Oh, actually, what is the function of ADA? ADA helps in the strengthening of the immune system and also helps in the body repair. Means if there is a deficiency of ADA, even by the slight injury, the injury will not heal and also it leads to a severe drastic situation. So in this girl, he has noticed that due to the deficient of ADA, her immune system was weakening. So he was trying to see about the different treatments. So he opted for gene therapy, which was a permanent cure for ADA. Okay, so in this way, the ADA was cured by gene therapy. And also there are other treatments also, children. So over here, what did he do? Here he has taken out the lymphocytes from the 4-year girl, and here he has cultured out and he introduced the DNA into it. Okay, so after introducing the functional DNA, he again transformed, that is the lymphocytes are being transformed into the girl. Okay, so over here they supported the body and this became successful. The next treatment is bone marrow transplantation. Okay, then have you ever listened, where is bone marrow, children? The bone marrow is a tissue that is being present in the large bones like thighs or in the pelvic bone region. Okay, so over here, here in the bone marrow transplantation means if there is any problem in the bone marrow, over here, the healthy stem cells from the bone marrow, they are being taken and been inserted into it. Okay, so this further will give rise to other types of cells, children, like liver, skeletal muscles, fat bodies, etc. So in this way, bone transplantation can be done. The next one is enzyme replacement theory. Means the name itself says replacing the enzyme. Okay, so here functional that is ADA, this has been directly injected or inserted into the body. Okay, so over here, when you see, for example, like insulin, a growth factor, that is over here, this has been operating and they want to see the growth. So if they insert directly the factor, and over here the growth can be seen. So this is the enzyme replacement therapy, and this is also the other the gene therapy is being done in other diseases like cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis means, children, that is clog in the lungs, means suffering from breathing problem, etc. And also over here hemophilia means over here failure of blood clotting. And this is muscular dystrophy, that is absence of the dystrophin protein, means weakening of the muscles, children. And over here sickle cell anemia. What is anemia, children? Anemia means reduction of the blood cells. So here the red blood cells, they get the shape of sickle cell, students, and later the red blood cells, they become very less, they reduce, and they lead to sickle cell anemia. So under these conditions, over here the gene therapy is being done. Okay, then how they are being transferred? So there are different methods, children. That is the first one, that is transfection. Over here, that is the genetically modified DNA. This is directly introduced into the eukaryotic cell. Okay, then here this is a gunshot method. Here it is being shot with the gold or tungsten particles coated with DNA. The next one is transduction. Here sending the genetic material into the cell. So these are the few methods like transfection, that is also, that is a gene gun, and transduction. These are helpful for the transfer of genetic material. Okay, so students, this is about your gene therapy. And over here, next, the new technology, that is on the transgenic animals. So to investigate new treatments for the human diseases, scientists have experimented on transgenic animals. Okay, so before doing any research on the human beings, scientists do the research on various animals. Okay, so mostly the experiments have been conducted on rats, mice, dogs, etc. So these are called as transgenic animals. Okay, then who is the person who first introduced the transgenic mechanism? That is Rudolf Jenisch in the year 1974. He studied, that is the diseases in the person by introducing a foreign DNA into the mouse. So as he has introduced the foreign DNA into the mouse, it is called as transgenic mouse. Okay, not only the mouse, there are also other transgenic animals, as I have said, students. Okay, so the transgenic animals, this transgenesis is the phenomena in which a foreign gene, means the outside gene, is introduced into the animal, whatever we desire to study, and we study the disease characteristics in that animal. So this process is called transgenesis, and that animal is called transgenic animal. Okay, so here the study is done on mice, rabbits, pigs, sheep, cows, and also on the fishes. But mostly scientists opt rats. Then why do they opt rats? Means when you take, they are not cooperative mostly. Might be the parents are not cooperative. So here the rats, mice, they are being taken mostly for the study, children. And also cows are also taken for the study. Okay, then what are the reasons? Then why we have to use transgenic animals? Yes, we see to the few applications, children. The first one is normal physiology and development. What is physiology? Physiology means study of functioning of the body parts. Okay, so if you want to see the study of any body part, okay, so directly we may not see into the human thing. So they, scientists have been opted the animals to study the normal physiology and development. Might be like the growth factors, to how much extent the growth has been taken in the human body. This is all being studied by using transgenic animals, might be the cow or the mice. Next, to study the various diseases. Here they have taken mice to study the various diseases. So this is the transgenic mouse to study the various characteristics. What are the changes taking place in the disease is being studied by inserting the foreign DNA into the mice. Okay, children. The next one over here, that is, this is also used to study the different diseases. As already said, this is cystic fibrosis. Here there is clog in the lungs region. So due to this, there is a difficulty. Sinus problem is seen in the person. And next, when you see, this is rheumatoid arthritis. Here, when you see, that is joint pains. And here, this is Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's means it is concerned to the brain, children. That is, here the brain cells are degenerated and they may die. So under all these conditions, a scientist cannot directly experiment on the human being. So that's why they select transgenic animals for the study. Next, it is also used for studying, that is, drug and industrial production. Alpha 1 antitrypsin. This is produced in the liver. Okay, so deficiency of alpha 1 antitrypsin, this leads to diseases like emphysema and cystic fibrosis. Emphysema and cystic fibrosis, these both are referring to the lungs problems. Okay, so this has been experimented and this was also successful on the sheep. Next, the experiments on the transgenic cow. Okay, so this was the first transgenic cow, Rosie, that was being operated in 1970s, 1997. Over here, this is enriched with good milk, and it's also having human alpha lactalbumin, and this is very nutritious to the human infants and also small children. And vaccine safety. Whenever any person discovers any vaccination, this is being first operated on the animals. So might be like stem cells and operating on the animals, polio, and medicine testing, and also studying of the diseased genes. So for all these conditions, for the safety of the vaccine, this is done on the transgenic animals. Next one is chemical testing. Okay, so whatever creams or whatever any lotions, whatever you apply or whatever anything you take, this has been chemically tested. Okay, then on whom it has been tested? Okay, so our skin is very sensitive, isn't it, children? So this has been tested on the animal. So for example, when you take that is any ointments, lotions, creams, so these are first tested on the animals, children. And you might have noticed even on the ointments, it will be seen that animal tested. Okay, so that is the toxicity is being tested on the animals. Okay, so these are the few applications, that is the reasons why we use that is the transgenic animals. Okay, so here GEAC, that is Genetic Engineering Approval Committee. Approval means it gives permission. So this committee, it concentrates on ethical issues. Ethical issues means that is not every person can use animals for their experimental studies. Okay, so they have to go legally, and only the scientists are being permitted to study about the disease characteristics on the transgenic animals. And also this committee looks into the misuse of DNA manipulation and also the safety of animals and environment. Yes, we shall go into cancer biology. Have you ever listened to cancer? Yes, cancer is the most dreadful disease. Yes, this ribbons show us the awareness of us towards cancer. Cancer biology. This is been first found out by Hippocrates. Who is Hippocrates, children? Yes, he is the father of medicine. Yes, how did we get the term cancer? Cancer is being derived from the term crab. Okay, so over here it is having long projections. Over here, finger-like projections. So cancer appears like the finger-like projections of the crab. So shape of the crab resembles the cancer. So the name cancer is being given. When you see in our body, a single cancer cells, they go on divide and form a huge number of cells that are out of control. So several undivided cells or abnormal division of the cells is called cancer. Okay, what is the study of cancer? The study of cancer is called as oncology. Yes, you may get a doubt, children. Already I have said we have many cells, trillions of cells. Then how can the cells become or turn to cancer? Yes, we have many normal cells, children. They go on divide. But the cells which are diseased or damaged, they will be removed from the body. But over here, a few cells, they will be turning to the abnormal cells. And these abnormal cells further multiply. They go beyond the control and turn to cancer. Just see, students, here, this abnormality or multiplication of the cancer cells. So this is the malignant condition. So in this way, the normal cells, when they are beyond the control, they turn to cancer cells. Okay, so here just see, students, the normal cells, they divide. And if there any damage or any injury to the cells, that is by the programmed cell, that is death, it has been removed from the body. So this is called as apoptosis. What is apoptosis? The death of the cell is called as apoptosis. Means the worn out cells, that is the cells which are damaged, they are removed from the body. In this way, the cells are maintained actually for a healthy person. But when you see the cancer cell division, means here there is abnormal division of the cells. So here the cells are not being killed. They are going on dividing and proliferating and spreading. So this is the division between the normal cells and the cancer cells. So here this is the normal cell, children. So here this is having a boundaries and there's a limited. And when you see, this is the cancer. So here there are no boundaries. They are going on spreading all over the body. Yes, the normal cell undergoes alterations at the genetic level, and also cells divide, that is without the control, and form cancer cells. Yes, over here, when you see, there are some lumps that have been seen in our body. Okay, here and there. So these are called as the tumor cells. So that is when you see abnormal proliferation of the tumor cells, that is called as neoplasm. What is neoplasm? Abnormal proliferation of tumor is called neoplasm. What is tumor? Lump in any area of our body is called a tumor. Yes. Yes, see, students, in this way, tumors will be appearing in our body here and there. Yes, there are two types of genes, oncogenes, tumor suppressor genes. Already we have studied what is oncology, children. Study of cancer is called oncology. So oncogenes means cancer causing genes. So here the normal cells, these are affected by the cancer causing agents. Might be any agent causing cancer, it will be affecting and causes cancer. So these are called as oncogenes. Next one is tumor suppressor genes, means it inhibits the growth of the tumor. Okay, so the tumor suppressor genes are also present in our body. Like for example, P53. So the P53, this is the protein present in our body. This inhibits the growth of the tumor. Okay, so these are the tumor suppressor genes. Okay, so as it It will be killing the cells, causing the disease. This is really a goddess, we can say. So it is called as the guardian angel of the genome. What? P53. It guards our body. So it is called as the guardian angel of the genome. Yes, it will be killing the damaged cells. It repairs the DNA and guards the body. So P53 is called as the guardian angel of the genome. Based on the growth pattern, we can differentiate into two types children. The lumps here, when you see the first one, this is a normal lump. And here when you see the lump, it is having the red lines. They are the danger marks. So on that, we can classify into two types, benign and malignant. What is benign tumor? Benign tumor over here, when you see there is a lump, but it is being present towards or localized in one particular area. This is called as a benign tumor. Okay, so over here, it will not spread to the other parts of the body, and this may be cancer and or may not be cancer also. So we may not worry or less worry of it, and this can be removed surgically. Okay, so this is a benign tumor. Okay, just see the picture, students, over here. Here, this is a small lump. This part can be surgically removed, and this tumor will not spread to the other parts of the body. Okay, and this may not be cancer also. This is called benign tumor. The second type is a malignant tumor. So here, the tumor is made up of definitely cancerous cells. Okay, so this is called as malignant cancer, and this will be spreading to the nearby tissues also, and this is very dangerous. Okay, so here that is the breast cancers, stem cells, etc. These are all malignant cancers. Okay, so commonly there are some places where the cancer arises. They are like when you see here, breast, liver, brain, ovaries, etc. So these are the places where it will be originating. Okay, so over here, from these places, it spreads even to the other parts of the body's children. So from the primary site of origin, spreading to all other places, it is called as metastasis. Okay, once again, I repeat, students, spreading of the cancerous cells might be over here, brain, lungs, okay, kidneys, whatever it is, from their primary origin, spreading to the other areas is called as metastasis. Okay, so till now we have studied about based on the growth, that is over here, malignant and benign, based on the tissues and cell type. Okay, so they are classified into three types: carcinoma, sarcoma, leukemia, or lymphoma. Carcinoma. Okay, so over here, these are this is the malignancy that is being developed from the epithelial cells. Might be the lining of the lungs, blood vessels, kidney tubules, the digestive system, lining of esophagus, salivary glands, mammary glands. So the outer coverings. So over here, these are prone to effect of carcinoma. And next, even when you see the breast cancer, this is also carcinoma. And also when you take the skin cells and also the lungs, these are also affected. So most of the cancers, that is nearly 90% of all the cancers, are carcinoma. The second type is sarcoma cancer. Okay, so this sarcoma cancer, this is a solid tumor of connective tissue, and this occurs in when you see like a bone, cartilage, etc. And this when you see out in the muscles, this is very rare in humans. Sarcoma cancer is very rare. And the next one is leukemia or lymphoma. These are blood cancers. And here, when you see, there is a difference, the normal cell and the leukemia cell. So here, this is the abnormal division of the blood cells. And over here, this comprises of 7%. Here, this is seen in the bone marrow, that is the multiplication of the blood cells, this condition. And when you see lymphoma, over here, the lymph nodes, here the lymph nodes, they are appearing very large in the neck region. So they are called as cervical nodes, and they will not be any pain. And this is also seen in the spleen region, and this also occurs in the thymus region. So these are all types of cancers, but these are occurring only nearly 7%, we can say. So mostly the cancers are carcinoma cancers. Then we shall see then why the cancer occurs. Yes, when you see there are several agents causing cancer, the cancer causing agents are called as carcinogens. Yes, it causes by the damage to the DNA. Okay, when there is damage to the DNA, cancer occurs. Then what are the agents or factors? We can say them as physical factors, chemical factors, biological factors. Physical agents. So when you see the physical agents, that is taking x-rays. When we go for an x-ray, people say that you will be prone or you will be affected to cancer. So, but when you see x-rays, these are having very little radiation, and there is a little chance of cancer, and also gamma rays coming from the sun or lightning, and also ultraviolet rays, that is from the sun. These are also the physical agents causing the cancer. Next, when we see the chemical agents and the food. Okay, so there are different chemical agents and also the foods causing cancer. Shall we see? Yes. So here, tobacco. So tobacco is used in the preparation of cigarettes. Okay, so when people smoke cigarettes, they suffer from different types of cancers, isn't it? Like lung cancer, mouth cancer, etc. And what is the substance, students, in the cigarettes? It is nicotine. Nicotine is the alkaloid present. And over here, when you see, that is processed meat. The second one, what is processed meat? Means we preserve the meat for many days and later being eaten. So when we eat such type of processed meat, also gives a chance of the cancer. And when you see the difference, like tobacco versus meat, which causes the great risk? So smoking causes lung cancer, though there will be seen that smoking is injurious to health. People go on smoking, and also the meat processing, people will be eating, and this will also causing bowel cancer, students. Next one is alcohol. Alcohol also increases cancer risk. Okay, so over here, when you see, that is, there will be always, even on the alcohol bottles, that is, alcohol is injurious. Alcohol kills the person. Alcohol causes nasopharyngeal and also different types of cancers occur, like liver cancer, brain damage also occurs. Next one, when you take, that is that main cancers occurring by taking alcohol, that is mouth cancer, throat cancer, larynx cancer, cancer to esophagus, and if the woman take alcohol, breast cancer, liver cancer, and bowel cancer. So in this way, by taking alcohol, the cells are damaged, and also it will be showing the hormonal imbalance in the breast. Yes, these are the salted in the Chinese way. When these are being taken, this will be leading to nasopharyngeal cancers. Next one, these are all the drinks, and also over here, like cool drinks, many Pepsis, etc. When we take over here, this will be, by taking this, weight gain, obesity occurs, and also this will be leading to cervical cancers. And here, these are the fast foods, children, like pizza, burgers. Many feel to eat, but these are also having more chance of the occurrence of the cancers. And already over here, the Cancer Research Fund has recommended to take limited fast food. Okay, but nowadays we see many fast food centers on the roadside also, and also people take fast foods. Many do not, they are not aware of the cancer. So students, be aware of it. Outside food always, it is not good, having different types of chemicals, and this may lead to cancer. Okay, till now we have seen the causes. Then what are the techniques to detect cancer? We see to it, students. First one, biopsy. Okay, so biopsy is the removal or the part of it to test the damaged part. So here, prostate region. So here the needle is being inserted to take a little part of it for the testing. And also here for the breast cancer, this is the needle breast biopsy. And over here, this is punching on the skin and also on the toes, on the prostate glands. So in this way, the different biopsies at the different places are being done, and the equipments used are the needles and the forceps. Okay, so over here, the portion where the tumor is there, that part is being removed and tested. That is called as a biopsy. The next one is histopathological study. Histo means study of tissues. Okay, so here a little part of tissue is being taken, and also that study is being taken for few days under observation to see the changes of the disease. That is called as histopathological study. So for the cancer, histopathological study is also needed. Next one is blood test. Okay, already you know leukemia, like blood cancer. Here the blood sample is being taken to see the leukocytes count. If there is more, the person is suspected of leukemia, that is the blood cancer. And here the mostly men will be prone to prostate cancer, and the prostate screening will be done. Everyone should be aware of the prostate screening. And mammogram, so here this is the low energy x-ray of the breast to detect the breast cancer. Okay, so this is a breast imaging technology, mammogram. This also every women should be aware of, and they should be every time, every year or every 6 months, they should undergo mammogram after 35 years to test whether they are having any lumps in the breast. Next one is the radiography. So here, this radiography, that is to ensure any cancer cells which are being spreaded to the other parts of the body are being tested by radiography. For example, when you take in the breast cancer, not only the breast, it also spreads to the lymph nodes. By that, it spreads to the other parts of the body also. So in this way, the radiography helps to detect and ensure no cancer cells are present in the body. And here, this is the CT scan. This is the tomogram, 3D image. And this is the MRI scan. Over here, that is ionized radiations are not used. Here, magnetic fields are used. And this is harmless, children, as the magnetic fields are used. And here, a complete body scan is being done. Though it is expensive, it is really safe method. MRI scan is really safe and harmless. Yes. Till now, we have seen the various techniques. Now we'll see how we can treat cancer. The first one is surgical removal, means removal that part of the tumor by surgery. Okay, so that particular part, it is being removed by careful expertise surgery. Next one is radiation treatment. Okay, so here passing on that radiation to that particular area will also kill the cancer cells. The next one is chemotherapy. Chemo means chemicals, therapy means means treatment with the chemicals is being given. What are the chemicals? Okay, so they are vinblastine and vincristine. So these are the chemicals used for chemotherapy. And here these have been cultured in the laboratory and used for different types of cancers. And over here, they are being extracted from Vinca rosea plant. Okay, so this chemotherapy also works out well for cancer patients, but yet we find some side effects also in the patients, like here hair loss we see. So when you see the chemotherapy patients, the head will be really bald. Means it will not only kill the cancer cells, but also it kills the hair follicles, nails, growth, etc. will be affected, and also the patient becomes very weak children. The next one is immunotherapy. So the biological response modifiers, that is alpha interferons. Okay, so these are used to detect, that is the cervical cancers. Alpha interferons are used to detect, that is cervical cancers. Okay, so over here, cervical cancer, this is the most common cancer to the woman. Okay, so here pap smear test, this is the screening test, this is available, and over here by that 80% chance of saving your life is possible by early detection children. Next, then what is cervical cancer? Okay, in your reproductive system, you have seen the various parts of the female reproductive system. So this is the cervix region, children. The neck of the uterus is called as cervix. Okay, so here that is the infected cells, they will be spreading to the entire cervix region. So abnormal cells, they have been crossing the basal membrane. So this leads to the cervical cancer. Okay, so here the pap smear test will be done. This is also called as pap test, and everyone should have cervical cancer awareness. They should undergo test, that is over here, and if they are prone to cervical cancer, there'll be definitely a cure for it. So we should not be afraid of getting tested. And that the vaccine is HPV vaccine. This is HPV vaccine. This has been cure for the cancer. Next, we go to the stem cells. Okay. Our body has different types of cells. The cells will be differentiating and they perform different functions. But when you see stem cells, these are not differentiated, but still one stem cell, it will be forming to the different kinds of the organs in the body. So these are undifferentiated cells, but still they give rise to the specialized cells. Okay, these are stem cells. Okay, they replace the worn out cells. Example, we find stem cells in the bone marrow. Okay, so here the bone marrow in the pelvic region, and also we find in the bones, and also in the cartilage part. This is the cartilage part. So in these parts we find the stem cells. And also when we see in the intestinal lining region, we find the stem cells. So every 4 days, this lining of the intestine is worn out, and again the fresh lining will be occurring. This is due to the stem cells present in the intestine. And scientists are finding ways to replace our body parts with our own body parts itself. So this is possible only by stem cell therapy. When you see in the case of leukemia, that is the blood cancer, over here, when you see this, the blood cells, the bone marrow is being affected. So in the bone marrow, the fresh stem cells are being implanted in such a way that new healthy blood cells are being functioning in the leukemia patient. Okay, by the potency or the ability, the stem cells are classified into totipotent, pluripotent, multipotent, and unipotent. Totipotent. Here, toti, that is derived from the Latin word totus, means entire. Means here, the single cell will give rise to whole organism or complete organism. So, total. So, single cell give rise to the total organism is called totipotent. So, let's see with an example, children. Here, when you see the sperm cell, this has been fertilizing the egg, and this gives rise to the zygote. So single cell give rise to the zygote, by further divisions give rise to the complete organism. This condition is called totipotent. Okay, so here's just see students, the sperm fertilizing the egg, and here it forms the zygote, by the divisions forms morula. Okay, so this is the totipotent, and by further divisions undergoes the blastocyst, and it forms the different organ systems in our body. Okay, so here the fertilized egg, which is the union of egg and sperm, it forms totipotent stem cells, and it by further division forms the blastocyst. The next is pluripotent. Okay, pluro means several. Okay, here the single cell forms several cells. Okay, several cells it forms, and here the example is blastocyst. Zygote, by the cell divisions, it forms the morula stage, and here when you see the inner layer, it is forming a mass of cells. It is called as embryoblast or inner cell mass, ICM. Inner cell mass is being present. Okay, so over here, that is the cells will be undergoing to 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32 cell stages, like that. It is further going on dividing, and towards the inner side it forms the mass of cells that is deriving from the epiblast, that is inner cell mass, and that is called the blastocyst. Okay, so this is the pluripotent, and next comes the multipotent. Multipotent means they develop into more than one cell type. Okay, so example, when you take that is bone marrow. So this bone marrow, this is the hemopoietic stem cell region. So here it gives us to different types of cells in our body. That is, they give rise to the liver cells, skeletal muscles, fat cells, etc. Okay, so that's why it is called as multipotent. Means single cell gives rise to the different types of cells. Okay, so here totipotent. Okay, it will be giving rise to pluripotent embryonic stem cells. From this, few give rise to the multipotent, and from there it gives rise to the different cell organelles. Okay, so here just see this pictorial representation, students. Zygote. How is a zygote formed? Union of egg and sperm. Okay, here by the divisions it forms a few celled embryo. This is the totipotent cells, and by the divisions it forms a blastocyst, that is morula, and this is the inner cellular mox. Okay, ICM, and that is pluripotent, and this will be giving rise to the divisions and forms embryo. Okay, so this embryo here, it is having umbilical cord, etc. These are all the stem cells, children, and from the embryo, that is, it will be transforming to the adult. Okay, in the adult also they are having stem cells at certain regions. Okay, so like the kidneys, they are also giving rise to the different parts. So here when you see, that is embryonic stem cells are present, that is up to the formation of embryo, stem cells are present. Also, after they are transforming to adult also, the stem cells do exist in the human being. Okay, so let's see the types of stem cells. Yes, there are two types, children: embryonic stem cells and adult stem cells. Embryonic stem cells, ECC, that is embryonic stem cells, that is these are being isolated from the inner cell mass. Where is the inner cell mass, children? That is the cell mass present at the blastocyst region. Just see students here. This is the inner cell mass of the blastocyst. Okay, so here when this is being separated, and this is pluripotent, and this is useful for in vitro fertilization in the cultured lab, and this is useful for the pregnancy, means those who cannot have pregnant normally, this embryonic stem cells are being used. Okay, so here how they are used, we will be seeing students, that is by in vitro fertilization. These totipotent cells, that is the inner cell mass, this has been cultured in the lab, and here whoever wants to take these cells, they will be taking from the fertility clinic. Okay, so this is really very good cultured pluripotent stem cells for the women who did not have pregnancy. And here this is the laboratories where the stem cells are carefully been cultured and preserved. Okay, so here just see students, embryo, it has been transforming to blastocyst, and here this is the inner cell mass present, and here this will be differentiating nearly into 200 cell types. Okay, so for example, here they have given a few cells like skin cells, neural cells, muscle cells, red blood cells, etc. So in this way, the embryonic stem cells, these are working really amazing. They give rise to any type of organ in the body. The next one is adult stem cell. Okay, so here adult, that is they divide and create another cell. Okay, and these are useful for the repair and also replenishing the adult tissues. These are multipotent. For example, when you take the skin has a good regenerating capacity, wound healing capacity, etc. So these cells from the skin are also used as stem cells. Next comes hemopoietic stem cells. Poietic means process of making. Heme means blood. So process of blood forming. So hemopoietic stem cells. Okay, so here these are originating in the bone marrow and the umbilical cord. Okay, based on this, they are classified into myeloid stem cells and lymphoid stem cells. Okay, myeloid stem cells and lymphoid stem cells present in the lymph organs like thymus, spleen, liver, etc. Here, these classified into myeloid and lymphoid. Okay, so here this myeloid, this is further classified into different types of blood cells, children. Okay, let's see what are they. These are erythrocytes. That is over here, these myeloids, they have been forming, that is to the erythroblast, and these are been transforming to the erythrocytes. Here, there is no particular nuclei. And here, when you see the megakaryocytes are forming small particles called as platelets, and myeloblasts are again further transforming to the basophils having blue granules. Okay, and here they play an important role in asthma. And here these are the neutrophils. Just see students, here there's a spectacle like appearance of the nucleus, and this is responsible for pus formation. And here the eosinophils, and this is responsible for allergy. And here these are the monocytes, that is they'll be cleaning up the dead cells. So these are the myeloid cells. Next, when you see the lymphoid cells, what do the lymphoid cells do? That is they fight against the infections or the diseases by producing antibodies. Okay, they are classified into two types. What are they? T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes. Okay, so over here, just see students, here that is the hemopoietic stem cells classified into myeloid and lymphoid. Okay, and by further classification, they are classified into myeloblasts and lymphoblasts. and again later classified into erythrocytes likewise. So these blast, that is myeloblast, erythroblast, etc., these are all immature forms. And erythrocytes, thrombocytes, monocyte, lymphocytes, these are all the mature forms. So in this way, adult stem cells, they are giving rise to the different types of the blood cells. These are the different white blood cells, children: monocytes, eosinophils, basophils, lymphocytes, neutrophils. And we shall see once again the sources of the stem cells. Okay, so as you have already learned, we get the stem cells from umbilical cord, placenta. This is the amniotic fluid. And we also get from the bone, and we also get from the dentin pulp, and also from the adipose tissue, and also from the peripheral blood. So these are the sources of the stem cells. Okay, then what we have to do? These are being stored in the bank. They are called as stem cell banks. Okay, so in the banks, these stem cells are being preserved and they are being used for the future use. Then what are the steps, children, for storing the stem cells? Okay, so here these are the steps, that is enrollment, collection, transportation, testing and processing, preservation. First one is enrollment, means whoever wants to preserve their stem cells, they should enroll their name and they should give their details. Okay, so on the delivery day, that is they collect the stem cells, that is within 10 minutes they collect the stem cells, and they will be transporting. Okay, so by 48 hours, they will be transporting to the stem cell bank. And before that, that is after transporting, they undergo, that is fine testing and processing is being done to test the purity of the stem cells. And it is being preserved under cryopreservation, that is below the freezing point, it is being preserved. So these are the various steps one has to be aware of when they want to store the stem cells. Okay, so many might be worried that they have not stored their stem cells during delivery. So we need not worry. There is also still next chance also, like dental stem cells. These are also a good chance for the preserving the stem cells. Here, this is the dentin pulp. It is having rich number of stem cells at the milk teeth, that is near the 12 years children, and also wisdom teeth, which appears at nearly the 30 years. So from the healthy adult or from the milk teeth child, the stem cells will be maybe collected, and this can be preserved also. And this is also rich in the stem cells. Okay, children, let us recap. What did we learn, children? What is gene therapy? That is the treatment of the genetics, and also the types, that is somatic gene therapy, that is from the somatic cells; germline gene therapy, that is from the germ cells, that is like egg and sperm. And also we have studied about the treatment for ADA deficiency. What are the treatments, children? That is gene therapy, and also that is the enzyme replacement, and also the bone marrow treatment. These are the various treatments. And we also studied about transgenic animals. What is transgenesis? Applications in the usage of the various transgenic animals. And cancer cells. What are the features? And what is the role of P53? What are the types of cancers? How to detect it? How to treat it? We also studied the stem cells, the types, and also embryonic stem cells, adult stem cells, hemopoietic cells, and actually why we use the stem cells. Okay, children, write in brief the types of gene therapy. Okay, and MRI scan is harmless, justify. What is popularly called as the guardian angel of the cell's genome? explain the different types of cancers. And once again, students, here, let's recap once again. Blood cancer is also known as, what is the other name, children? Leukemia. Leukemia is the blood cancer. The transgenic animals are those which have, what do the transgenic animals have, children? Whether foreign RNA in all the cells, foreign DNA in some cells, foreign DNA in all its cells, or both RNA and DNA. Yes, foreign DNA in all the cells. ADA deficiency can be best treated by, already we learned 3 treatments: gene therapy, bone stem cells, and enzyme replacement. But the best permanent cure is gene therapy. Cancer is related to, what is cancer? Is it non-malignant tumor, uncontrolled growth of tissues, controlled division of tissues? None of the above. Yes, the right answer is uncontrolled, means which is beyond our control. The tissues growth is beyond our control. A patient is suspicious of having breast cancer. What type of test will a physician conduct to diagnose the cancer? Okay, so here the choice are blood test, mammography, CT scan, pap test. So the breast cancer can be detected only by the mammography, that is a low radiation which will be imaging the breast cancer. Okay, so these are the various attributes, children, I have taken for my presentation preparation.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, madam.
Prashanti.
And thank you, madam, for
Yeah,
giving me
thank
this
you, ma'am. It
opportunity.
was
Thank you,
very, very
Shailja,
informative.
madam.
Yeah, thank you, madam. Thank you. It was very informative, and I hope children would be benefited from this session. Please, children, revisit the channel and see that you completely write the notes, and we'll come up with the next one more good session for the applied biology chapter. Thank you.